All right, so we're going to get started on this presentation. Thank you for coming to this meeting to learn a little bit more about the Academies by Harvard Student Agencies. To start off, my name is Abdu. I'm the Partnerships Manager this year for the Academies by HSA. I'm originally from Illinois, but now I'm in Cambridge, Massachusetts. I'm a first-year student at Harvard. So a little bit about who we are as a company. Harvard Student Agencies is the largest student-run company in the world. We employ more than 500 undergraduates annually. Founded in 1957, we're now a multi-million-dollar company, a nonprofit that not only employs Harvard students, but also sort of educates them with hands-on business experience. It's basically an entirely student-run operation where managers like myself run every aspect of operations and strategy. We're not affiliated with Harvard officially, but we're entirely composed of Harvard undergraduate students. Now, the Academies, which is what this is all about, is a section of Harvard Student Agencies. It's an agency within the larger company. And what we provide are intensive virtual weekend and summer academic enrichment programs for high-achieving high school students like yourselves. We use world-class curriculums that are based off of real Harvard curriculum, and we teach these classes with Harvard undergraduate students from Harvard that are able to provide students with great access to business, coding, consulting, politics, pre-law, and pre-med education. We'll go over the specifics on those curriculums shortly. The programs have all been carefully tailored to an online format. That's how we now offer them in a more virtual setting. So students can receive the same challenging, rigorous academic enrichment that we once provided in person, but now over Zoom. Our goal is to inspire passion for innovation alongside a team-oriented mentality so as to best prepare the leaders of the future. Now, we actually started in person, as I was just talking about, but since then, since last year, we started going fully virtual. So that's what we're offering now. It's an entirely virtual weekend program. Our main goals are to provide insight into a professional field through dynamic educational experience. What separates us from other online courses that you might find is that ours are really career-oriented and practical in what they cover. So it'll actually prepare you for not only higher education in a field, but actually work in that field itself. We also provide a very affordable product that allows students from all backgrounds to participate and be inspired towards certain career paths. And lastly, one of the biggest things, one of the most valuable things that we're able to provide are connections to Harvard student instructors that endure beyond the end of our particular program, because our undergraduates love meeting students like you. They love forming those connections and maintaining those connections even after the program is over. So if you ever need a sort of a mentor to reach out to, if you ever have questions about maybe the college application process or about higher education in a particular career, they're always a really great resource for that. We've now been doing the Academies for 5 years. We've had over 4,000 students participate in in-person programs, and 750 were in 2019 alone. Since we've moved from in-person to virtual, our numbers have only gone up since we're now able to reach people from all across the world with our virtual programming. The 8 academies that we offer start with our business program, which is sort of centered around creating a startup from the ground up. We also offer a politics, which is orienting students toward current events, a pre-law program, which prepares students for law school, 2 levels of pre-med, which prepare students for careers in medicine, a business level 2 course, which surrounds consulting. It's just a crash course in consulting careers. And then we also offer 2 levels of coding, which is learning to code, creating websites, and creating apps. The structure of the programs are either 16 or 20 hours of programming. The dates and times are chosen by edVentr, so you'd register through them. And it might look something like this, where it's 2 consecutive weekends, where on a Saturday and a Sunday, you do this coursework for about 4 hours a day. And then the next weekend, you continue with that program. On Saturday and Sunday, another 4 hours each day. And by the end, you will have completed your final project and gotten your certificate. In the summer, we also hold our summer academies, which are 4 hours a day, Monday through Friday. These would be 20-hour courses, although for the time being, until the summer, we're only offering these weekend academies. Programs take place over Zoom, which students are now very familiar with because of the past years of online school that we've all been subject to. Zoom is very easy to use. If you need any help setting up your Zoom, we are always happy to help you figure that out. But you don't need any account, just internet access. Student information is also protected by Zoom, great security features, and classes are always held through Harvard licensed Zoom accounts. The instructors, which is really our most important part of our offerings, are all Harvard College undergraduates. We are very rigorous in our selection and training process. We only want the best teaching these courses. We evaluate their teaching style, their resume, their work ethic, and their pre-professional experience to make sure that our students are all being sort of instructed by the greatest undergraduate students that we have access to. We're always making sure that it's the most skilled instructors that are leading the training sessions. So we're sure that the people that are teaching these courses are qualified to do so. The class sizes for the academies are very small. We're proud to say that because we value intimately sized online classes, which allows more personalized attention between our instructors and students and allows for really deeper connections. So everyone can actually get to know each other within the classroom instead of just having a huge Zoom meeting with too many people to count. Students are able to form close relationships because of this more intimate class size, and they're able to receive attentive feedback from 1 or 2 Harvard instructors, depending on the class size. After the program, there's a final project, which I was talking about. The final project might be a startup business pitch, a disease presentation in the case of pre-med, a mock trial for the pre-law program, or an emergency case study in the case of pre-med level 2. I'll go a little bit more into each curriculum shortly. We also provide certificates for program completion. These are just nice certificates that show that you've completed the entire program in the given course that you've taken. And while they can't be counted towards official college credit, they're great to add to a resume, to an academic experience list, or to anything else that you might want to put on, I don't know, college apps or applications for jobs or internships, etc. Now, a little bit about our actual curriculums for each course. Starting with our business level 1, this is a course on entrepreneurship. It teaches the fundamentals of launching a business. That entails idea generation, market research, business plans and pitches, competitive analysis, and generating funding. We provide insight into interview strategies and resume building skills to help students land any coveted internship or job. Students will gain a comprehensive education of business fundamentals and valuable hands-on experience so they'll be able to enter and succeed in the business world. What we're really proud about is that this business level 1 course not only prepares you for the education that you might receive if you choose to go down the business route in college, but it'll also prepare you beyond that for actually landing those jobs in business and actually performing well in those jobs. So if you have any interest in business whatsoever, this is a great place to start to see if this career path really does sort of suit you, does suit your interests and your strengths. Next, we have business level 2. Well, the first one was about entrepreneurship. The second level is all about consulting. We teach you how to crack a consulting case, from first understanding the problem to breaking down the problem and identifying the issues or drivers, to analyzing data and interpreting information to drive insights, and finally summarizing the problem and recommending a solution. I know consulting isn't a field that a lot of people have very much experience or familiarity with, sort of in the high school level. It's a career that not a lot of people talk about, but it's actually a very lucrative field that a lot of Ivy League students end up going into upon graduating. It's a very coveted sort of job that is really great for numerous reasons. A lot of it is just problem solving, research into markets, and sort of understanding what problems exist in an industry or in a company, and then working to solve those. We work with case questions in this course, profit and loss, market sizing, entering a new market, and mergers and acquisitions. We also, once again, help you with interviews. So you can land a consulting job of your choice. And for the course, students will collaborate in teams to solve real-world Harvard Business School cases. Once again, this is using real curriculum that is all based around Harvard classes. So you can be guaranteed you're getting the best curriculums that we have to offer. For our pre-med courses, we have a level 1 and a level 2. The level 1 pre-med course covers modules on genetic inheritance, hormones, immunology, and organic chemistry. We explore case studies on various diseases, poses medical ethical questions, and offers an opportunity to dissect scientific papers. And it once again prepares students for a career in medicine by providing an overview of the MCAT process. In case you don't know, the MCAT is a standardized test that all medical students must take to get a certification. So preparing you a little bit for that, giving you a little bit of exposure as to what that looks like, so you can really know if med school is something that you're actually looking to do, and if a career in medicine suits you. Our level 2 course is a little bit more advanced. presents a deeper dive into human physiology, the pathologies that affect it, and the tools needed to diagnose and treat those pathologies. It gives students the tools to fill the shoes of an emergency room doctor or a triage nurse in patient care. Our final project for pre-med is pretty exciting. The level 2 course basically ends with a scenario in which a person faints, completely collapses, and then as students, with the knowledge that you've acquired throughout the course, you have to figure out how to proceed from there. What's your sort of course of action? That's always really exciting. Students love that. Our coding level 1 and 2 courses. Level 1 starts with the fundamentals of coding. Students will be able to work on various programming challenges to get acquainted with Python, the coding language. They'll learn the basic functions of code, and no prior coding experience is necessary. For the students that have taken level 1 or just have a lot of background in coding, we offer level 2, which is targeted to students who know their way around coding and are interested in web development. We sort of require a little bit of experience with JavaScript or another language. And students will work on projects involving HTML, CSS, JavaScript, React.js, styled components, Git, and Heroku. Students will build a website using React at the end. So they'll actually be able to really work on an actual really significant project using their coding knowledge. Our pre-law course introduces the field of law to high school students. We cover due process of law, landmark court cases in American legal history, and much more. Partner with the Harvard Office or Career Services to orient students toward the LSAT, which is a standardized test for law students to take, the difficult to navigate requirements of applying to law school, and law careers themselves. We provide students not only the tools of a pre-law student, but also an awareness of history and the current events that contextualize law in society today. After taking the pre-law course, you'll not only have a better idea of education in law and careers in law, but also the more theoretical side of what really makes law important and how it's applied in the world today. Our politics course is centered around the topics of political theory, international relations, campaign management, and hot topics in US government. Students tackle a policy problem that they are personally passionate about, and at the end, they present their research and provide actionable policy recommendations. Next, just a little bit on logistics. The partnership is through edVentr, as I said. So all registration will go through them. A little bit here. If you're interested in the January course that's being offered, you can register through edVentr. We'll require at least 10 students to participate in order to run the program. And once again, all that will go through edVentr, which makes it super easy. So you can just reach out to them for that. And of course, I'm now open to any questions that anyone has. If there's anything else on your mind, I'd be happy to answer. If not, no worries.
Abdu?
Yep.
Maybe just a little bit clarity again on, how this course would help one in one's career with regards to a job or with regards to, choosing a section before going to university or something like that.
Of course. It's a great question. I'd say that what separates really strong students from less strong students is focused, right? If you look at Harvard students, a lot of what they have in common is that they're really focused, they're really passionate about something. And the only really way to know what you're passionate about, the only way to know what you want to focus on for your path through education is to gain exposure to that field early on, right? It's really difficult to take a high schooler and say, choose what career path you want to pursue for the rest of your life at such a young age. But what we really seek to provide with our academies is exposure to real world problem solving, real world situations where you'll actually gain exposure to these careers. One example, a student who's potentially interested in the law field, but really doesn't understand what it entails. That was me just a couple months ago. But actually being able to take a course like the Academies offer will really give you exposure so you know what the career actually feels like. You'll know what the education in that field feels like. So you'll be able to ask yourself, is this something I really want to pursue? And more often than not, after getting exposure to these courses, students will really see that they've fallen in love with this, this field, and they really want to pursue that, which means that they're able to focus in on it a little bit more. They're able to have not only a little bit of knowledge, because of course the courses cover a lot of material that's very useful, but more than anything, it'll really just give them exposure so they know that they want to pursue that. And so after that, they're really able to look at, maybe the courses that they're being offered in their high school or over the summer. And from there, take the courses that align with their interests that they've newly found. I really think that's the biggest value of a program like this. You'll be able to go from really not having much of an idea of what career path you want to go down into really understanding what each career path entails and which one suits you the best. Any other questions? Totally fine. Well, thank you all so much for your participation. Thank you for coming. And if you're watching this in the recording, thank you for watching. Really, really excited to get this partnership going. I'll end the share here. And unless there are any other questions, I might just end the meeting here. Is there anything else I can answer for you guys?
How long is the course?
I'm sorry?
How long is the course?
Oh, the cost? Yeah. We can provide cost info. It sort of depends on an individual basis for these programs. So I'll send all that information shortly. I'll be sure to follow up with you on that.
Okay, thank you.
Of course. Anything else? I'll end the recording here.